Thursday early morning on the armored vehicle. We are heading towards Sudzha on the highway, where 6 months ago an attack occurred. Evgeny Podomny, he is returning to work, his first combat mission. Most interestingly, his cameraman, Aleksandr Kots, it's also his first mission after being wounded.
Despite the fact that the main forces of the enemy are defeated, the setup nearby is uncomplicated. The formation of the Kiev regime is exerting very serious firepower on Sudzha. They are trying to strike our units using barrel artillery, rocket artillery, and the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system. But today the weather, as they say, is favorable, and the drones can't fly yet.
Heavy fog.
Now we will go along the road through the north through Sudzha. We will go along the road. There will be mines lying around, PPMPI scattered, MP-13 standing. Until we meet again.
What really stands out is some kind of solid construction. Right here. Good houses, good roads. And this, by the way, is the first thing that Ukrainian servicemen notice. I spoke with a guy from Mykolaiv. He was telling me that you drive through the Sumy region and realize you've entered Russia when the quality of the road surface changes. And accordingly, the standard of living here is higher than in Ukraine, even in this small town on the border with Ukraine. All the stores of our large chain became for the Ukrainian military some sort of pilgrimage site. It was a must to approach the Pyaterochka, take a photo, and leave some kind of graffiti, depending on their level of politeness and education, which I must say is extremely low. This Pyaterochka here is located in the suburb of Sudzha, in the settlement of Mirny. We are just passing through it on the way to Sudzha itself.
There are crosses standing. My grandmother died here. Many people died who were here. The bedridden and sick were all abandoned. Everything is fine. We're holding on. How did you get through it? Alive! What can you tell us? You can see for yourself what happened. Right behind, please. That's my house. Well, yesterday, thank God, we sent the family away. 6 people. Evacuated, right? Yes, we'll send them yesterday. The car, it worked out. More or less. I don't know. Today or tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. They'll leave. With the guys, as you say, we supported each other. Well, competitions. And maybe they'll leave too. How did you live in Afghanistan? Survived some kind of life. Is that what you call life? 25 degrees of heat, no electricity, no gas, no water, nothing. Then we learned to get it ourselves. Started a well and drew water. A product. But then the stores were looted. And the mountains, we had to carry water there, take drinking water, get products. That's how we lived.
A typical scene in the houses. Everything is destroyed, looted.
The store across from me was very unpleasant. The caravan was constantly passing through here, both in cars and just lying around. And this is the work against the Chrome. They drink beer here with guns. Well, they were Nazis. I have 4 girls, a wife, and 3 little ones. They took everything from here. The base, they're approaching the base. The metal, wood, everything's there, fastened. They drained all the gasoline. They looted everywhere. We couldn't approach the garage anymore. That's what saved us. Otherwise, it was scary. Just go in, not a single door, none, all the doors are broken. We held our entrance, but it's on the second floor. Noticed. Good entered from that side through.
They broke the warmth for my buddy and the neighbor to rob her completely.
Yes, you carried everything there at first. Yes, they came. There was a team, apparently those who bought themselves such a position, and they were doing this. And that's it. They cleaned out the apartment's gold. They took all the first bits of gold. Then we carried computers, equipment from the computer blocks, and system units were lying around. There was no memory. Everything was torn out. Well, yes. That's how it was. And then they started taking personal belongings. They took women's things, even underwear. The neighbor was arguing. Her daughter came with a fishing rod, and my things were scattered. They picked them up. This is not the army, it's the radio. Stars ours.
By the way, I would like to remind you that the first journalist who arrived on the outskirts of Sudzha on August 7th last year was my friend, brother, and godfather, Kava Correspondent Yevgeny Podupny. Well, and perhaps it's symbolic that he himself arrived in the newly liberated Sudzha. So tell us, while you were recovering, was it hard to watch everything on TV when you weren't there in the midst of it all?
At first I couldn't watch it all, to be honest. I just couldn't, and I was terribly worried. I called and wrote to everyone. So, you know. Then I slowly started to get into it. And still, of course, it's very difficult, especially like this from a hospital bed. At first, the doctors didn't even give me a phone because they knew that, well, I wouldn't let go of the topic. That little reporter's itch was eating away, right?
Well, generally like that. A worm of civic duty besides the reporter's one. In general, well, a tragedy, a terrible disaster. Wow, they occupied the territory of the Kursk region. And that's the last thing I remember, all the injuries. Well, it wasn't easy. When did you find out how large an area the enemy had taken?
Oh,
You left and the court wasn't fully under their control yet.
yes. I learned everything a month later. No communication in intensive care.
And no one told you anything, right? Not even the doctors?
Sure, no, come on. No. Well, doctors don't really chat much in intensive care anymore, to be honest. That's how it was. So, I didn't know anything. I had no communication. The doctors kept me according to their treatment plan. Because, well, in general, I had to fight a bit for my health. Couldn't stay put now, right? When it's clear that everything is coming to a logical conclusion? Well, there are close people here. Combat comrades. Well, I'll say it again. It's a very heavy, oppressive state when you know that somewhere our people are under occupation. That's it.
And Sanya was wounded during our trip to Volchansk. When was that? In May? In May, yes, last year. So, he also returned. Right now, the western part is being shelled. The artillery shelling starts early in the morning, and there is still sporadic resistance in the city. From here throughout, those groups of occupiers who simply don't know they're already encircled, they weren't informed about the need to retreat. And now they are just engaging in battle, not realizing that no one will support them from the rear anymore. No one will come to help from the Sumy region.